Hi everyone, so you're going to start your new ILC, and Laura has put together some really cool documents, and I just want to show you a little bit of what those documents are and how to use them, as well as how to use USA Test Prep, and then at the end a little tutorial on how you can use your TI Inspired Navigators to help work on some test prep with your kids so that you don't have to grade things when you're doing some practice with the kids. So we'll just start here real quick. So the ILC planning sheet that Laura sent out to you, you're just going to choose one class. The minimum is one class and 3 key standards that are upcoming or you think that need to be reviewed for the ACT. You're going to create that pretest in USA Test Prep and then ask students to track their achievement as you review one standard per week and one test prep strategy per week with them. And then you'll give them a post-test and ask students to again track their achievement. I will be in next Monday to meet individually with each of you, so if you have any questions in this process, let me know, and my email is on the screen as well, so please don't hesitate. I'm happy to help because I know I was going to help you last Monday and we had a snow day. So this shows you what the teacher planning form looks like. So this is what you'll fill out, figure out what your target class is, what grade level that is, what are the key mathematical standards that you're going to cover through this cycle, and then each week choosing what standard you're going to cover, and then the strategy. So week 1, identifying distractors. What are answers you know that are not true, and really helping kids realize that they need to cross them off, because even on the M-Step there is a tool that allows kids to cross off wrong answers. So then standard 2, the second week, you'll look at the standard 2. And the strategy is answering the question before you look at the answer choices. Sometimes those can distract students. So asking kids to kind of think in their head, even if they're not going through the whole process of solving the problem, but looking at the problem and thinking about what would a reasonable answer be. Would it be reasonable for this number to be negative? Or would it be reasonable for this to be a fraction or a decimal? Or what units should be on it? Asking them to think through some of those key things before they even look at the answer choices. And then in week 3, covering standard number 3 and using the process of elimination. So trying to get it narrowed down to 2, or obviously ideally to the best one, starting with the ones that you know are not true. Finally, you'll review all of the standards and strategies, and then you'll give a post-test. And after the pre and post-test, the students will track their learning. So you'll notice the kids are having to write down the standards that we're testing, giving them a feel so they know what they're going to be learning. And then on the pre and post test, basically completing a bar graph of how many they got right for each one. And again, you can decide how many questions you want. I believe Laura put it at somewhere between 9 and 12 questions for the total. So if you haven't used USA Test Prep, I'm going to go through that. If you're comfortable with USA Test Prep, obviously you can skip this part of the video and fast forward ahead. But all you need to do if you haven't logged in is just go to usatestprep.com and log in. The account ID is Sexton 17, and then if you don't have a username and password, you'll have to go to Create Account and make your own account. Once you get logged in, you'll go down to the ACT and SAT, and if you are a 9th through 12th grade teacher, you'll probably choose the ACT Mathematics. If you are 6th through 8th grade, or perhaps Algebra Essentials, it would make more sense for you to use the ACT Plan questions. Once you do that, you'll notice this quiz builder, and that's probably the easiest way to make an assessment for your students. And when you click on the quiz builder, you'll see that you can sort by standards. You can sort by most popular questions, by newest questions, by difficulty low to high or difficulty high to low. It might be helpful to use the low to high difficulty so you can kind of put some different leveled questions on the test or on the quiz. Then you'll choose which big standard that you want to focus on. So thinking about where you're at in your curriculum right now, choose the standard that you want to focus on. And it will bring up all of the substandards that go through that. When you hover over one, it will bring up the more detailed standards so you can take a look at it. And then clicking on the plus button will allow you to see all of the problems available. And notice I do have it sorted from low to high on difficulty. Once you've added a question, you then can add questions from other standards, since you're going to need 3 different standards. And once you have the total number of questions that you'd like, you can hit Create Quiz. and it will allow you the opportunity to view your recent quizzes. It will store your last 5 quizzes. It'll allow you to open up the quiz and the answer key right there, ready to go. I would recommend that you print these right away or try to save these, just because, like I said, it only stores the last 5 quizzes, so I don't want you to lose it. And then obviously you'll follow the same procedure for the post-test. Do try to pick different problems. You know, they can cover, obviously you want them to cover the same standards, but you know, it would be nice to have a little bit different questions, at least different numbers that are listed. So hopefully that gives you a little understanding of USA Test Prep. USA Test Prep has some cool resources that you can use with your students, and this arrow is not pointing at the wrong thing, so I apologize about that. It should be pointed right here at the projector mode questions. Choose a question and then it will fill up the entire screen, so all you have to use is your projector to project it up onto your board. So thinking about when you project something, showing students a strategy to solve a problem, so modeling a problem for them and showing them how you would go through and solve it with the specific strategy that you're using, and then give them 2 to 3 minutes to use that same strategy on another problem. So while you're walking around to check what answers they have as they're working on that. You know, I think students sometimes get overwhelmed if they're given a lot of problems all at once, so just give them one at a time. Those who finished first and you've checked that they are correct should be checking and helping the other people. And obviously you can repeat this process throughout the block or use it as a warm-up or an exit ticket. For students that are struggling or students that are ahead, obviously we know that those students exist in our classroom. You can go into this practice link under, whether you're under the plan or the ACT. It will allow you to pick random questions, or what's really helpful is 10 beginner questions and 10 short answer questions related to just one standard. So if you're noticing kids at either end of the spectrum, this might be a good place for them to take a look at some questions and work on their test prep skill that you're teaching them. There's some really cool games too, and I know this sounds cheesy, but I think we know that high schoolers and middle schoolers do enjoy some friendly competition in the classroom. So the 2 that I like the most would be Battle Royale or Think or Swim. They're 2 that you don't have to print anything out. You don't really have to prep for at all. You can just put up on the board and let the kids do the math. So Class Party is really good, but all kids would need smartphones for that one. Now, that's a little bit on USA Test Prep, and I'm guessing some of you know this, but, and so if you know a lot about the TI Inspire Navigator, you can definitely skip this part. If not, you can make a quick poll on your Navigator software, and then kids can answer the question right on their calculator, and then it will show you where kids are at. So it's really easy. You don't even have to enter an answer key. You honestly don't even have to put the question into the calculator. You can just project a USA Test Prep question up onto the board, and the kids, it will automatically, once you create the quick poll, throw to the students' calculators A, B, C, D that they can pick and answer. So all you have to do here is make sure that you've added your class, and so all of their devices are connected. And again, you can either upload a CSV file of your class if you haven't done that, or add it manually. The CSV, which is the Excel file, is probably easier to do. Then you have to make sure that you select the class that you want. So if it's first hour algebra, you'd select that. And then all you have to do is click Begin Class. And it's as simple as this one button right here that says click here to create a new poll. And that will allow you to open up all sorts of different options, but obviously A, B, C, D is best for our ACT prep. And then hit Insert. And to create a question, you can just type in a generic. We're going to be able to use the same quick poll over and over again, so that's really nice. So you can just write on it, see the board, and you'll have projected up a USA Test Prep question. And then you hit Start Poll. And on every device that is connected to your Wi-Fi or to your hotspot for the navigators, they'll be able to see this, and they'll be able to go back and use their calculator if they need to, but then they'll always be able to come back to this ABCD. What's really cool then is on your computer, you'll be able to see how many kids are working, how many kids have submitted it, and actually when you click on this right here, it will show you how many kids have answered each one. So I can see one of only one student has submitted it, and I can see that that student picked A. You can click on this little link right here to see exactly how each student answered. So I can see that Sarah picked B. So again, gives you real time what kids are thinking for that question. Now, obviously, if you haven't used the navigators before, kids are going to have to log in, and they're going to have to use the touchpad to go up to the very top where it says unsafe. Well, I'm not sure exactly what it'll say, but I have a drop-down menu. They'll have to hit log in, and they'll log into your specific hotspot that's in your room. And then all they have to do, this is what will come up on their calculator as soon as you start the poll, and then they can click. And still able to, they can hit this button right here, the little calculator button, to go back to the calculator functions if they need it. So this is what the kids will see. And then all you have to do, if I can go back here and show you the screenshot, is then hit stop poll, hit start poll again, and they'll be sent a new poll to take, and the new poll will show up down here with your same question right up here. So really easy to use and really easy to get real-time data from your kids. We'll talk about this a little more, but there is a way to go deeper with the TI Inspire Navigators and actually use lessons that are predetermined or pre-created by TI. So if you're feeling like you want to go a little deeper, you're welcome to go to that. You'd click Content and then go down to the Math Inspired, and you can see all of the different resources that they have available. And then it's as easy, you can see it has a lot of pages to it, a lot that it's asking students to actually do on their calculator. You can send it to the class you want to send it to. It will show up on their device, and then there's actually a way that you can then collect that from them. And you can see what it looks like from their perspective. They can see exactly what's on your screen. So that's going a little deeper, but hopefully this gives you an idea of what we're going to do for this ILC. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate. I'll be there next Monday to chat more. Thanks.